Hi, it's Miss Abdallah with you today, and I wanted to make this video explaining the differences between Peardeck and Nearpod and which one truly is better for both teachers and students. I have used both, and I have tried out the different features and all the possibilities as I could find on both. And I thought it might be fun to make a thing comparing the two because a lot of people think they're the same, and they're really not. Like they have a lot of things in common, but the differences really do speak for themselves. And so I thought today we could try this out and really see what the difference is and which one might be better to use. So let's get started. In regards to how easy they are to use, I would say that they're similar in that neither of them are difficult. However, Pear Deck is much simpler in the fact that there are less options, so there's less to confuse you, if that makes sense. There are less options for questions, there are less options for your text, and there's even less options for the way that you give links to the students. It's all very simple. And so if you want just like real basic to like make it simple for yourself and for others, I would recommend Pear Deck in this category.
The other reason that Peardeck wins this category is that it is the most customizable in that the whatever you do to the slide is how it appears to the students.
Nearpod isn't difficult. Nothing about it is hard. And in fact, the tools it uses are very similar to anything that Google might use. It is, like I said, more complicated than Pear Deck, but still very easy to use. And so if you're looking for something that's easy to use and gives you options, Nearpod is the way to go. But let's look at our next category. Okay, so now let's talk about what types of diverse teaching and data options they have. And I know what you're thinking, this sounds more like from the teacher side, but actually the more diverse teaching options you have, the better the experience is for your students. So let's take a look at the two objectively. Let's take a look at Pear Deck. First of all, do have these ways to ask your students a question. They have text, they can respond, this is how the students respond. The students respond by text, by choice, by number. Maybe they have to go to a website, they have to draw, or they have draggable. Now, I gotta be honest, out of these features, my favorite one is draggable because it allows students to drag things across the screen. So what's cool about this one is that you can choose how you want them to respond. So they can do a dot, they can do a symbol, they can do a number, a picture. So let's have them do, what do you think, a person, and they can like rate themselves on a thing. Now, when the students get this slide, they drag the icon. So check it out.
So students can drag this anywhere they want on the slide. This can be useful for rating things. I would personally have them use it with finding things on a map or for taking polls. Really, the possibilities are completely endless. Very cool feature.
So that's the ways to ask a student a question. Now, if you want to use other features, the other feature that Pear Deck has is adding audio to a slide. So you can choose to add audio, and so you can just start recording yourself talking over a slide and upload it to the slide. So when the students are doing it on their own, they could have your voice talking, or somebody else's if you wanted to record something for a in-class activity. So that's a cool feature. Let's compare it to Nearpod. Okay, so Nearpod has lots of features, way more than Pear Deck does, not even close. So you can add audio to your slide, just like on Pear Deck. You can add a BBC video. They have these videos from the BBC embedded into their service that you can use. They have a collaborate board where the students can post and see each other's, kind of like Padlet if you've ever used it. So the students post and they can see each other's posts. You can also make it so you have to approve their posts first before they can see each other's posts. They have a draw it option. That's basically just your basic drawing. It makes whatever your slide is the background, and they can draw whatever they want on it. That is very similar to Pear Deck's Draw It. They have a field trip. This is a virtual field trip. It's like VR. The students can visit a place that Nearpod has on it. It's powered by 360 Cities if you've ever used that website. And so anywhere that somebody's taken a 360 photo, you can make that a place that your students can go via VR. And this is very helpful for a lot of different things. We've used it to teach geography. I've used it to help students set the setting for a story. That is one of my favorite features of Nearpod because it allows the students to be immersed in it, and that can be very helpful when virtual teaching gets just so redundant over and over again.
Talk to me, 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 talk to me.
They also have this fill in the blanks activity where you can like insert a paragraph or a couple sentences and then make some of the words in a word bank, and the students have to drag them in. They have a flip grid embed, so you can have a kids make a flip grid in the middle of your Nearpod. You can have them match pairs together, or they can do a memory test. They have Nearpod 3D, another one of my favorite features, in that they have 3D samples of things so your students can experience this, especially good for science, in person. So check this out. Obviously not real, but we used it for cells, but they have all of these options. So like you wanted to show them what a shark looked like up close, maybe different animals. Like I said, we used it for cells, but like if you teach other things, it could be just as cool. They have these different categories. If you do a cell, let me just show you as an example what they look like. And so once the students are in the Nearpod, they can drag this around. They can zoom in. They can like see different parts of the cell. It was very helpful for our cell unit.
It literally lets me see the world from a different perspective.
They also have open-ended questions where the students can just answer the question and text however long or short that they need to. They have a PDF viewer if you wanted them to just view a PDF inside the Nearpod without giving them the PDF totally. They have a poll option. They have a quiz option where like you can just do like a quick check and it will show you who's right and who's wrong. You can do a bunch of questions. You can do a few questions. We use this mostly for quick checks in the middle of lessons and at the end of lessons. They have a slideshow feature where you can just put pictures, a bunch of pictures in a row, and like the students can click through them on their own. We use this when we talk about heavy topics, and I want to like give the kids a second to like look through and click on each one. We're about to get to my two other favorite features, but before we do that, you can just insert a video. Nearpod has a library of videos that you can choose from, but you can also upload your own or find any on YouTube.
I wanted to really quick show you the cool features inside of videos on Nearpod. So you can see here that when you play a video, you can embed these little questions inside. So this is an open-ended question, so the students that are in the lesson would be able to immediately answer this in text format. And then as you're playing the video, you come across other ones. So this one is a multiple choice question, so they'll be able to answer. And obviously this is teacher view, so it'll tell you who's correct and incorrect right away. It is a very cool feature that Nearpod offers and gives you very good, quick data.
They have a sway option. Now, I don't personally use this one that much, but it like puts a really big picture there for them and with a prompt, and that's just for discussion. There was no way to respond on that one. Or just a website like how Peardeck had. Now, here's my other two favorite features. So Time to Climb is an embedded quiz game. So it has the same function as a quiz, and the students get questions and have to answer, but it's built as a game, and so they're competing and they can see each other and they're trying to run to the top of a mountain, and they have the option to do it in space and underwater as well as on land, and so the kids will love it. They also usually mix one up for the holidays. They had us go to the North Pole, and Halloween had one. Okay, and then this is my last favorite option. This is a PhET simulation. So the PhET website, I don't actually know how to say it, but they have amazing simulations, and if you've ever used them or embedded them into Canvas, you know what they are. They're also embedded into Nearpod. You can have the kids practice skills with a real simulator. Now, this one doesn't collect data, right? So like the other ones all collect data. This one doesn't. This is just for the kids to play with and experience things. Given that we couldn't do labs this year because we're all virtual, it was very helpful because they were able to experience certain types of energy and other scientific concepts on these PhET labs, the PhET labs.
Science, yeah!
But they also have them for math. So like you can build a fraction, like there's just so many cool different types of opportunities here. And yeah, so Nearpod has all of these options. So if we're comparing diversity in our teaching options, I think Nearpod wins it hands down. It's not even close. However, Peardeck's options are good and, like I said, simple. So if you're looking for something simple,
and if you like customizing your slides to look exactly how you like with cute features and adding as much stuff to it as you want,
then by all means, Peardeck might be better for you because maybe you want to keep it simple.
That makes sense to me.
Okay, so let's now talk about reporting. So the two different sites, Peardeck and Nearpod, both give you pretty good reports. So at the end of a session, Peardeck wants you to save your session. If you don't do that, you don't get the report. However, if you name your session and you save it, you can immediately view reports, and you can give what they call student takeaways. And so this is a link you can give students. They can like keep the slides for later use immediately after a session. it translates it into a Google Doc, and it makes one for every student who came to the session. For Nearpod, it doesn't have a takeaway option like that for the students. I'm going to give a point to Peardeck on that one. That is a cute, cool feature. So lastly, I want to talk about what teacher tools, what are some things that they do to help teachers out on both of these things other than the data and reporting. So let's take a look. So in Peardeck's add-on, they have what they say a template library. And so you open the template library and you can immediately look through and see some like sample slides of things that you can put on, and it would immediately put it there on your slide. So then you have like during lesson slides, like just some quick checks, things like that. They have end of lesson slides, reflections, exit tickets, etc. So like it will just put it right into your slideshow. It adds a new slide and allows the students to immediately respond to something once you've presented it, obviously. They have it broken down by the different lesson builders. It literally just gives you slides. Now this is a very cool feature, and I'm going to say that I really enjoy Peardeck's library of this stuff. It's a very cool little library. Now I will admit though that it is semi-limited. They have things for all the different subjects and even for littles, right, or just example questions. That's very helpful little library. So let's see what does Nearpod got. Now, you might notice that on their add-on, it doesn't have their library. And you might think that that's a negative thing. And I guess kind of it is, because it means you have to leave your Google Slide tab. However, when you get to Nearpod's library, you'll see that they have way more options available to you. You can look through any of their lessons or any lessons that somebody else has made and shared, and you can immediately save them to your library. Now, when you do that, you can actually click edit, and it will make your own copy and allow you to edit, and you can copy and paste their slides into your own Nearpod if you didn't want to use the one that Nearpod had already made, or that somebody had made already in Nearpod. You can take just pieces of them and put them together into a Nearpod if you wanted to. But you can also obviously just use any of the full lessons that they already have made. Lots of teachers have made things on many different content things that you may want to use. Honestly, all of these things are useful and helpful. So in this case, I think once again that they are tied, or if anything, I'm going to give Nearpod a slight advantage because their library is much bigger. But for ease of use, I'm going to still give Peardeck, like I said earlier, that advantage in that it's simpler. It's right there on the slide for you. You don't have to go anywhere. You can stay right there. It's just that there are less options. So again, if you want less options, Peardeck is once again going to be your best friend. Okay, so overview, big ideas. I would say that both of these are very helpful tools. And if you want to keep things simple, if you want to use only a few features and make things just a little bit more interesting, Peardeck is the way to go. If you're looking for something that will help you revitalize your entire learning process and make your kids more engaged in their learning, I would have to recommend Nearpod. K through 12, I think that Nearpod is the better option as far as diversity in teaching instruction and teacher resources in both library and data.
This is literally the most exciting thing that I've ever seen.
So let me know which one you think would be better for your room in the comments, because I have not taught every grade level. In fact, I've been in 5th grade my entire teaching career. So anybody else's opinions or thoughts would be welcome. And if I find features that I somehow haven't noticed using both of these, please let me know and I will update this video.